There comes a time in your life when you must look in the mirror and ask yourself, is this version of me helping or holding me back? Most people want change, but few are willing to delete the version of themselves that created the problems they're now desperate to escape from. The truth is, growth doesn't happen by adding. It happens by subtracting. Subtracting bad habits, subtracting toxic environments, subtracting old mindsets, and subtracting the old you. The one addicted to comfort, distractions, and validation. You have to be ruthless with yourself. Ruthless with your laziness. Ruthless with your excuses. Ruthless with the stories you've told yourself about who you are. You're not broken. You're just outdated. And you can't install a new operating system on a corrupted mindset. Delete your old self. The one that procrastinates, complains, avoids risk, and fears judgment. Let go of your victim mentality. Let go of your past failures. You're not who you used to be. And you don't owe your past self a damn thing. Because becoming your next level requires a death. The death of the current version of you. And only then can you evolve into who you were always meant to become. Change doesn't start with adding more motivation or knowledge. It begins with deleting the identity you've been clinging to. The person who is stuck in the loop of old patterns must go before a new version can rise. Transformation is subtraction first, then addition. Your old self thrives in comfort zones, comfort food, comfortable routines, but comfort breeds complacency. If you want change, you must step into discomfort deliberately, because discomfort is where your new identity is built. Every day you repeat old habits. You're choosing to remain in the same loop. The old self is not just an idea. It's a set of patterns, thoughts, and reactions. If you want a new life, your habits have to align with who you're becoming, not who you've been. Your failures are not your identity, but if you keep replaying them, they become part of your self-image. Deleting your old self means removing the mental file that says, I always mess up. I'm not good enough. Or that's just the way I am. There is no elevation without elimination. The new you can't exist in the same environment as the old you. That means deleting toxic mindsets, limiting beliefs, and sometimes people. Sacrifice is the price of growth. Let go or be dragged. Just like a snake sheds its skin, you must shed your outdated identity. That internal death of ego, fear, and self-doubt is painful but necessary. You don't become new by pretending. You become new by killing the old, intentionally, daily. And without apology, most people want to reinvent their lives. They want more success, more confidence, more clarity, more purpose. But what they don't realize is that reinvention doesn't begin with doing more. It begins with becoming less of who you used to be. You can't step into a new chapter of life if you're still attached to the old story. Reinvention is not about stacking up goals, achievements, or external changes. It's about going inside and removing the outdated beliefs, patterns, and identities that no longer serve you. The problem is, we often try to build the new version of ourselves on top of the old one. But that's like building a skyscraper on a cracked foundation. Eventually, everything collapses. The first real transformation happens when you become brutally honest with yourself and admit, this version of me is not working anymore. The excuses you make, the habits you rely on, the fears you hide behind, they are not random. They are a system that your old self created to survive, not to thrive. Reinvention requires internal demolition. It demands that you tear down the parts of you that are tied to failure, avoidance, people-pleasing, and self-doubt. You must delete the files in your mind that keep replaying your limitations. And just like deleting an app that drains your battery, you must uninstall mindsets that drain your potential. This process isn't pretty. It's painful. But it's necessary. Because you can't become who you're destined to be while still defending who you used to be. Comfort is seductive. It lulls you into routines that feel safe, predictable, and easy. But that's exactly why it's dangerous. The old self thrives in comfort because it doesn't want to be challenged, questioned, or stretched. It wants things to stay the same. Familiar habits, predictable days, minimum resistance. But here's the harsh truth. Nothing grows in comfort. Growth only happens when you disrupt the rhythm of the familiar and step into discomfort, uncertainty, and difficulty. Your old self will always try to protect you from discomfort, not out of wisdom, but out of fear. It will convince you to stay in situations that drain you, avoid challenges that might expose your weaknesses, and delay action because it's not the right time. But this comfort is an illusion. It's a trap disguised as safety. It keeps you from evolving, from experiencing your full potential, and from becoming the version of you that you secretly wish you were. Discomfort, on the other hand, is the price of transformation. It's the gym for your mindset, the battlefield for your character. Every time you do something that scares you, challenges you, or pushes you beyond what you think you can handle, you're weakening your old self and strengthening your new one. Growth lives in the conversations you're avoiding, the risks you're too afraid to take, and the goals you keep postponing because they require too much discipline. If you keep choosing comfort, you're choosing the old version of yourself. But when you start leaning into the pain of change, when you embrace the awkward, the hard, and the unfamiliar, that's where your evolution begins. Because you don't grow by staying warm. You grow by walking into the fire and letting it burn away what you no longer need. Comfort is where your potential goes to die quietly. It's not loud, dramatic, or obvious. It's silent. It whispers to you in the form of procrastination, routine distractions, and self-justifications. It tells you, you're doing fine, even when you know deep down you're capable of much more. And that's what makes comfort so dangerous. It feels good while it slowly kills your drive. Your old self is addicted to comfort. It craves ease, approval, and routine. It wants to sleep in instead of rise early. It wants to scroll endlessly instead of take action. It wants to avoid failure, avoid pain, and avoid risk because those things feel like threats. But evolution requires you to confront all of that. It demands that you step into discomfort willingly and consistently. Not once, not twice, but daily. Every next level of your life will require a next level of you. And that version cannot be born in a comfort zone. You have to outgrow your excuses. You have to outgrow the need to be liked, the desire to always be right, the fear of being uncomfortable. Discomfort is not a punishment. Discomfort is not a punishment. It's the forge where strength, discipline, and clarity are created. The people who grow fast are not the most talented or intelligent. They're the ones who are willing to do the uncomfortable things everyone else avoids. Understand this. Comfort creates cycles. Eva. If you're not careful, you'll wake up a year from now living the exact same life you're living today. Not because you didn't want change, but because you weren't willing to pay the price of discomfort. Want to lose weight? Discomfort. Want to build a business? Discomfort. Want to heal, grow, lead, love, win? Discomfort. There is no shortcut. There is no comfort-based path to greatness. The most dangerous part of being comfortable is that it gives you just enough satisfaction to justify not changing. It keeps you busy but not productive. It keeps you distracted but not present. It keeps you comfortable but not fulfilled. And the worst part? Most people will spend their entire lives mistaking comfort for peace. When really, it's just stagnation wearing a mask. If you truly want to evolve, you have to break the addiction to comfort. You have to do the things you don't want to do. You have to train your mind to step into pressure rather than avoid it. Because discomfort is the place where transformation begins. And comfort is the place where your old self is always waiting to pull you back. Your life right now is a reflection of your habits. Not your goals, not your dreams, not your intentions. Habits are the invisible architecture of your identity. And the habits that built your old self are not going to carry you into your future. In fact, are the very reason you're stuck in cycles you desperately want to escape. Old habits don't just repeat actions. They repeat patterns, beliefs, and emotional responses. They are the behavioral proof of who you've been. And until you change them, your reality won't change either. Think about this. Every day, from the moment you wake up, you're performing a script. You reach for your phone. You overthink. You delay. You complain. You indulge. You avoid. None of these are random. They are conditioned responses wired into your nervous system through repetition, and every time you perform these habits, you're unconsciously voting for your old identity. You're telling your brain, this is who I still am, even if you're trying to convince yourself you've changed. The problem isn't that you're incapable of becoming someone new. The problem is that you're loyal to your old patterns, and loyalty to old habits is loyalty to the old you. The version of you that's reactive, afraid, inconsistent, easily distracted, and emotionally triggered. Every time you choose a lazy response, a negative thought, or an impulsive reaction, you're feeding that version of yourself and keeping it alive. Old habits are powerful because they're comfortable. They don't require conscious effort. They run on autopilot. And that's exactly why breaking them requires intentional friction. You have to interrupt them, not just occasionally, but consistently. You have to become more aware than your patterns, more awake than your impulses. You have to stop reacting and start responding. That means making decisions that align with your future self, not your old programming. If you want to delete your old self, you have to confront your habits like enemies, not gently, not casually, but with focused aggression. Because every habit that doesn't serve your growth is an anchor. And the more you repeat them, the more you normalize the very life you say you want to escape. It's not enough to want change. You have to make it impossible for the old you to survive in your daily behavior. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And if your daily systems are built on old habits, you will always circle back to your old reality. Your habits are not just routines. They are reflections of your self-image. They tell the story of who you believe you are. And if that story is outdated, limiting, or rooted in fear, your habits will continue to reinforce that reality, no matter how badly you want to change. This is why motivation fades but patterns stay. You can watch all the inspiring videos, read every self-help book, and write down your goals every morning. But if your habits remain rooted in the past, your life will too. Old habits have momentum. They've been repeated for years, often unconsciously. They're deeply wired into your nervous system, wrapped in emotional comfort, and disguised as a just who I am. That morning delay, that instant scroll, that avoidance of hard conversations, that emotional overeating. They're not accidents. They are rituals of your old self. And as long as those rituals are alive, so is that version of you. And here's the trap. Old habits are incredibly deceptive. They don't seem dangerous. In fact, many feel harmless, even earn. You tell yourself, it's just one day off, or I'll start tomorrow, or at least I'm doing better than before. But these micro-permissions are how your old self sneaks back in, quietly, subtly, and without resistance. The dangerous thing about old habits is not that they ruin your life instantly. It's that they slowly sabotage your future while allowing you to feel temporarily okay in the present. Your brain craves familiarity. It's always trying to conserve energy. That's why it defaults to what it already knows. And that means your old habits will always feel easier than the new ones you're trying to install. But easier doesn't mean better. What feels easy now often leads to regret later. What feels hard now, discipline, focus, sacrifice, leads to transformation. Every time you perform an old habit, you strengthen the neural pathway associated with it. It becomes more automatic, more normalized. That's why change isn't just a mindset shift, it's a neurological rewiring. You must disrupt the loop. You must introduce resistance. You must become conscious of every move you make. Because most people are living unconsciously, stuck in a rhythm that belongs to a past version of themselves. Your old reality lives in your default behaviors, not in your circumstances. If you wake up every day and act like the same person, you will keep living the same life. Change doesn't happen when the calendar changes. It happens when your habits change. Until then, your old self will keep dragging you back into cycles you thought you outgrew. If you truly want to delete the old you must target your habits with surgical precision. Identify the patterns that no longer belong to your future and eliminate them, ruthlessly and without compromise. One of the heaviest burdens you can carry into your future is your past, especially your past failures. Whether it's a mistake, a regret, a missed opportunity, or a time you fell short. Too many people allow these experiences to define who they are. They don't just remember failure, they identify with it. It becomes part of their internal dialogue. I always screw things up. I'm just not built for success. Things never work out for me. These aren't facts. These aren't facts. They're self-fulfilling prophecies created by emotional wounds that were never healed, only replayed. Your old self is built on emotional memory. And when you keep revisiting the pain, shame or disappointment of your past, you reinforce a self-image that says, I'm not good enough. This identity becomes the foundation of your actions. You play small because you believe you'll fail again. You hesitate to speak up because you fear rejection. You don't try new things because the voice in your head reminds you of all the times you tried and fell flat. But failure is not who you are. It's something that happened. And the more you cling to it, the more you freeze your growth in place. Identifying with your failures turns them into permanent labels. Instead of saying, I failed, you say, I'm a failure. That shift in language is subtle but dangerous. It means you've absorbed the experience into your identity. You stop separating what happened from who you are. And as a result, you become emotionally attached to the version of yourself who made that mistake. And you carry their voice with you, even when the situation has long passed. But here's what you need to understand. Your past is not your prison. It's a lesson. And like all lessons, it was meant to teach you, not trap you. The people who evolve are not the ones who never failed. They're the ones who refuse to be defined by failure. They extracted the lesson, discarded the emotional weight, and rebuilt themselves stronger, smarter, and more aware. But to do that, you must release the need to constantly revisit your low moments as if they are a measure of your worth. When you keep identifying with your past, you sabotage your present. You compare who you are now to the lowest version of yourself. You keep proving to yourself why you can't move forward instead of proving that you've learned and evolved. This is how your old self survives, by chaining you to the stories of loss, rejection, and weakness. It convinces you that your past is your destiny, and that belief becomes a blueprint for repeating the same patterns again and again. To delete your old self, you must delete the belief that failure equals identity. You must stop dragging outdated definitions of yourself into every new opportunity. You are not who you were on your worst day. You are not the result of one bad decision, one painful chapter, or one moment of weakness. But as long as you wear your failures like a name tag, people, and more dangerously, you, will keep seeing you through that broken lens. Progress isn't just about what you gain, it's about what you're willing to lose. People talk a lot about leveling up, about becoming their best self, reaching their potential, or living a more powerful life, but they rarely talk about the cost. The truth is, elevation demands elimination. Elimination. You can't rise while holding on to the very weight that's been keeping you grounded. There's comfort in your chaos. There's predictability in your limitations. That even if your current reality is frustrating, it's known. The human mind will choose the pain it understands over the freedom it fears. That's why most people never truly transform. They try to carry their old mindsets, their old habits, and their old relationships into a new chapter. But what they don't realize is that every next level of life has a bouncer at the door, and it doesn't allow baggage. To grow, you have to let go of your mental clutter. The fear, the overthinking, the judgment, the toxic narratives you've been feeding yourself for years. You have to release people who